Hi, everybody. It is your friend Bob, and I'm going to go over the records that I purchased, mostly purchased, some were given to me um, in April of 2026. Um, Getting used to the camera here. You might think I'm nuts, but there's a lot of them. April was one of those months that encompassed many events. I was in Japan for the beginning of it. And when I go to Japan, I like to pick up some records, particularly ones I can't get here in one form or another, or if I find one that I've been looking for and just can't find here that's available here, you know what I'm saying. So we got that going for us. April was also Record Store Day. So I did pick up a bunch of Record Store Day releases. And then a new record store opened here in Chicago called High Voltage. So they had this opening event, and I went to that and picked up some records as well. So we'll just start. We'll start because this might take a while. I like to, keep these at about a half hour ish, not too much longer than a half hour. So we'll do it. So we're going to start with the records I got in Japan, and the first one I got here was Emperor Tomato Ketchup by Stereolab. I've been really getting into Stereolab lately and wanting to get their stuff on vinyl because I feel like it sounds really good on vinyl. Of course, I found the Japanese version, so I'm pretty excited about that. There's actually another Stereolab record coming, but I really wanted to make sure to get. Well, it's funny because I had Mars Audiac Quintet on cassette and really enjoyed it, but it was really this record, Dots and Loops, and Cobra and Phases, etc., that I enjoyed. I have the Cobra and Phases one. Now I've got that one, and we'll see what comes up later. Also purchased in Japan is this. It's the score for the movie called The Smashing Machine, which I will never see. And it's also the Japanese version. The reason why I got it is it's by Nala Sinefro, who is Belgian, I believe, composer who I've just been fascinated by. When I was in Mexico City last February, I went to this record store called 99 Records, and they had a listening room as part of this record store slash, and it's like a bar too. They had food there too, I believe, snacks. Anyway, one of the records they played when my partner and I were there was Nala Sinefro's Endlessness record, and we loved it. And so I've sort of been tracking down Nala Sinefro records since then. Can you hear me? Let me see. Check, check, check. Yeah, just want to make sure you're hearing me and I'm not just talking and you can't hear me. Okay, this is interesting. Before I left for Japan, I just had all of these signs that told me, Bob, buy the Flea album. So I got the Flea album, Honora, which I had listened to and I enjoyed quite a bit. This is on. I got it on Red, and to be honest, if I didn't find it on Red, I might not have gotten it. And again, I'm just like, what am I talking about? I talk about not caring too much about colors, but like I thought it's in Japan. I listened to the record in Japan. There were things that were in Japan that were like, hey, buy this record. So I bought the record. Um, in like 1989 to 1990-ish, I liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers quite a bit. That was when Mother's Milk came out, and we got to see them play here in Chicago at the Riviera, very close, for very cheap. And I remember it was fun. I was a freshman in high school. Um, you know, I didn't love Blood Sugar Sex Magic when it came out. There were a few songs I liked, but like I just liked Mother's Milk and the stuff previous. I know might think I'm nuts. And then I don't know, it became kind of too pop rock for me. But regardless, this record, as you probably know, it doesn't really sound like Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's jazzy, featuring a lot of jazz musicians, including No, I was going to be like, including somebody I purchased a record by, but no, I haven't purchased the record by this person, Jeff Parker. You're not going to see that. Okay, here's an example of a record I found in Japan that I was looking for, that I found there at a reasonable price, and just don't really see it here, find it here. And it is Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica. It's a double LP. And I read a book about Trout Mask Replica that I quite enjoyed. If you haven't heard Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, it's, I would say it's hard to describe, but try to imagine like four people playing different songs at the same time. It's kind of how you might describe it, but reading the book, it was all very planned out. And it's a really interesting read. It was the 33 and the third book. But I'm glad I have that record. That's not on streaming. I don't think it's on streaming, but it's great. All right, this is going to be the first. Well, I guess Flea is a new record. I also purchased this record. Again, this is the Japanese version of Kim Gordon's "Play Me." I didn't love the Kim Gordon record that came up before this, and I like Sonic Youth just fine. Don't have any records by them, but certainly not a huge fan. But I was really into this when I listened to this, and surprise, I listened to this in Japan. I did a lot of walking around in Japan. When I do a lot of walking around, I listen to stuff, and I didn't listen to many books. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks. Rarely do I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I do, but usually it's books. But this time it was records. I found listening to music walking through Japan very, very pleasant. So I got this Kim Gordon "Play Me" record, and it's really cool. Maybe I'll mention something that literally everybody probably mentions, is that she's been around for so long, and I just want to make a fresh. I'd love to be able to be in my 70s, one, and two, to be in my 70s and make a fresh sounding, really cool record. And that's what she did. And I just need to surround myself with cool people. I have cool friends. I'll say that. And my family's pretty cool. But in other ways. In other ways they help me stay cool, but maybe not. No, maybe they will help me stay cool with music. I'm gonna start a new band. This is a more breaking news. I have a seed out there to start a new band. Isn't that fun? Move this. No, move this way. Anyway. Okay, here's another record I was looking for that I found in Japan, and I was like, I gotta get it. Corner Shop, Woman's Gotta Have It. This record I first heard for the first time in Champaign, Illinois. I was kind of like temping, doing some just like junk work. Interning? That's the word I'm looking for. At Parasol Records, because I needed some extra cash, and I was down. It was like a 2-floor office / warehouse, and I was downstairs. I don't know what I was doing, packaging records or something like that. And they were playing this, particularly the song 6 a.m. Julander Shear upstairs. And I was like, what is that? What is that? It sounds incredible. And they were like, oh, it's Corner Shop. And, this record came out in, I don't know. When this ends up being on Cats and Vinyl, I will know and tell everybody when it came out, but it's just not easy for me to see here. So I'm not sure if it was new when I first heard it, but that was when I first heard it. So that was probably like 1995, 1994, 95, probably around there. But again, I have all of these records except for one or two that we'll get to mean something to me. They mean something to me, and I am happy that I have them, and I'm happy that I'm going to be able to listen to them whenever the heck I want to. Okay. We're getting to the last Japan record, and this is a record that was given to me. So we played with a bunch of bands, and if I'm around and I can see, usually before the show, I warm up. So sometimes I don't get to see the opening bands, which is a shame. But when I do see the opening bands and I enjoy the opening bands, I'll sometimes ask if they've got a record. And if they make me pay for it, I'll pay for it. But if they're like, no, we'll get you one, like, great, that'd be great. This is the latter. And it's weird because it's kind of upside down. The album's called Lux, which is great because that is a Braid song, but not named. This is named after the Braid song, but the artist is called Suichu Spica, and we'll see if how I feel about this. But as far as vinyl goes, it looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to listen to this. Does it mean something to me? Not yet, but it might. Okay, now we have. Okay, we're gonna start with. Oh, we'll start with this one because we have two records to come here that are still sort of Japan related. When I was in the lounge waiting to board my flight to Japan. Side note, I am in airports a lot. Airports are one of the worst places on earth that you have to go to. Another one is the DMV, another one is the post office. They're terrible. Everybody's rude. And I'm not talking about the staff. They've got a right to be rude because they're dealing with rude people like me. I'm not rude. I try to treat them with dignity and respect and understand that their job sucks. Particularly when it comes to if they're not getting paid for their job. That's another whole thing. But I can get into a specific lounge, but I can't get into that lounge at O'Hare because they don't have that specific lounge at O'Hare. Because I use this particular credit card when I book flights. Anyway, but because I knew I couldn't, I bought a 1-day pass to get into this particular lounge, like the United Airlines lounge. And when I got there, and we're like, I bought this 1-day pass, they're like, sorry, we're full. And I'm just like, but I bought it. I bought this pass. And they're like, sorry, can maybe come back in like 20 minutes. So I was like, well, this sucks because one of the reasons you go into the lounge is they give you free food and free drinks. One of the other things that I do is get to the airport early. I like to get to the airport really early, which doesn't really jive with the fact that the airport is a terrible place. But I like to get there early because I like to have a glass of wine and sometimes some food. And if you get into the lounge, it's free. But if you have to buy food or a drink at the bar, the Goose Island bar or something, it's so expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. So I was like, well, I'll just go get a glass of wine over at the Goose Island bar, and I did. And it's like $15 or something for a small glass of wine. I hate it. But anyway, I was like, suck it up. It's fine. This 1-day pass is good for a whole year. At some point, you're going to be able to use it. Anyway, Todd, I was texting with Todd, the bass player of my band, and he was in the lounge, and he was like, yeah, we signed up for some credit card and got it. And he's like, let me go talk to the people and tell them that you're with us. He went, he talked to the person, they let me in. So I sat with Todd and had another glass of wine, and we talked a lot about records because I had started doing Cats and Vinyl stuff. We were talking about like what record stores we wanted to go to, etc. Somehow we got to the subject of Nathan Larson. Nathan Larson is the guitar player of Shudder to Think. He was the guitar player of Swizz too, and he put out some solo stuff. He scores movies. He was also in a fantastic band called Mind Science of the Mind that put out one record, and I say record loosely because it was never released on vinyl. And then I was talking about his record Jealous God, which I enjoy a lot, but never released on vinyl. I was like, oh, it's a shame he's got nothing released on vinyl. And Todd was like, there is a 12-inch that they released of one of the singles from Jealous God called I Must Learn to Live Alone. Here it is. And I immediately went on to Discogs, and it's funny, it's on Big Wheel Recreation, which is like Piebald and other things. And it was really cheap. I think this was like $10. But the reason why I rushed to buy it is in addition to I Must Learn to Live Alone, which is a very good song from Jealous God, 3 non-album bonus tracks on this puppy. So I already listened to them. They're good. But I was really happy to hear, Nathan Larson, new Nathan Larson songs to me, from that era. I'll pick it up a little bit because we're at 15 minutes. When I was in Japan, I talked about walking around everywhere. This was a record I listened to a lot. How did this get on my radar? It just got on my radar from new music that I listen to every Friday. And usually there's one or two things. I don't know what this is. I'll throw it in there. This is one of them. This is a band called The Leaf Library. The Leaf Library. The record's called After the Rain, Strange Seeds. What a great walking record. But it's also, it's on yellow. It's nice. It's also a good working record. Kind of sounds a little bit like Stereolab because it has a bit of a mechanical, repetitive thing going on. But and then like 2 female vocals that can be like dissonant, like really tight harmonies. Really cool. And yeah, just really good walking music. Okay. Next, I got this for free. And I got the next 3 for free. But this one was by request. This is Nate Lapine. The record's called Quartet Vortices. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Mind Science of the Mind is such a good record. It is on streaming now, but it's not on vinyl. But when it comes out on vinyl, I'll be first in line to get it. Nate Lapine plays saxophone. He's been on Cursive Records, played live with Iron and Wine, played with Father John Misty, played with, I think, Poi Dog Pondering. Like, it is sort of a Chicago institution when it comes to fill-in saxophone player. Like, you need a saxophone player, he's your guy. I got Nate Lapine on the line. But I've become friends with him for a particular reason. And so got to see him. Actually, I was friends with him for a while. Finally got to see him play. He did like a set with a quartet at Hungry Brain, and it was awesome. And I listened to this record because it's on streaming, but I didn't have the actual record. He brought one for me, so I'm happy to have this. It's really, really great. Like fast bebop type stuff that I just really enjoy. This will be quick. Bix, who is our like all-purpose roadie 5th member of Braden Hey Mercedes, he sent me this record after we got back from Japan. It's the Big Country record called The Crossing that has the song Big Country on it. Big Country. And he found a Japanese version of this record. So when he got home, he's just like, hey, I think it's because maybe it's Cats and Vinyl, which is great. I joked last video that's like, oh, maybe people start sending you records. So he sent this to me. He's like, well, now I have another extra copy, and I think you would like this record if you don't have it already. So I don't know this record. I only know the song In the Big Country, so I'm excited to listen to that. So will it mean something to me? Probably, because Bix gave it to me. Here's another record that was given to me. I was on a Propaganda podcast years ago, and I chose to do the song Anti-Manifesto? Anti-Manifesto. I'm not sure. It's the first song on this record. And I talk a lot about how I listened to this record, which is How to Clean Everything, over and over and over again on cassette as I was going back and forth to Champagne. And I liked it a lot because it's complicated. It's very political and fun and just really just a fun, cool, subversive kind of record that I really enjoyed. But it's also complicated. Like the guitar work, the time signatures, the song structures are very, very interesting. And so the gentleman who did the podcast hit me up. He's like, I have an extra copy. I'm going to send this to you. You should have it. Tell me what your cats think. That record means a lot to me. Okay, now we got some records that might mean a lot to me at some point. We're going to do Record Store Day records. I'll be quick. That record means a lot to me. Okay, now we got some records that might mean a lot to me at some point. We're going to do Record Store Day records. I'll be quick-ish. I got my Record Store Day haul from Loud Pizza Records here in town. They're just down the street. God, they're the best. They're the best. And I cast a wide net. Normally for Record Store Day, there's maybe one or two that I was like, gotta get that, gotta get that. There wasn't that this Record Store Day, but I wanted to get a few things, cast a wide net. So I got This Against Me, B-sides from New Wave, which is a record I enjoy. So much like the Nathan Larson B-sides, I'm excited to hear these B-sides. Never heard them. Don't know. Never heard that record. This record, look at how great that record looks. This is the Joe Strummer record, Global A Go-Go. Haven't done any Clash records on Cast and Vinyl yet, but I've got a bunch because I love them. And I was happy to get this one. I only really knew the song Johnny Appleseed on this, which is fantastic. But I've already listened to this and love it, and I'm happy that I have that in my collection. Here we go again. Captain Beefheart makes a return. I got, because they reissued this record, Lick My Decals Off, Baby, which I don't know very well. They talk a little bit about this record in the book that I read about Chalk Mask Replica, but picked this up, so I'm excited to listen to that. Oh boy, what happened? We're almost at the end? Kind of. We're like 2/3 of the way through. This one was interesting. I enjoyed John Coltrane, and I heard they're going to be releasing these Tiberi tapes. I was under the impression these were like actual studio recordings that were like discovered. No, this guy Tiberi was somebody who just went show to show and recorded John Coltrane sets. Right? Still sounds like a cool thing, but the quality of the recording is poor. It's not good. In fact, when I played this for the first time, I was like, is something wrong with my record player? No. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this. And I actually went online to be like, is this what you're expect? And yeah, people are like, yeah, this sounds terrible. Anyway, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that one. This is Dijon. Dijon is a artist really enjoy. I heard the song album absolutely and just loved it, start to finish. It's a great record. His last record, which I believe is called Baby, has like one or two good songs, but it didn't hit me the way that Absolutely did. This is just an EP that had been out that's called How Do You Feel About Getting Married? I think it's called How Do You Feel About Getting Married? It's something of that nature, but did give it a listen to it, really enjoyed it, so I'm glad I got that on vinyl. And he's a great artist. Okay, this record on Blue, I ordered this record in like September of last year, like September or October, or maybe November, right when they announced that they were going to do this Snowcaps record. This is Waxahachie, Katie Crutchfield with Allison Crutchfield and MJ Lenderman, kind of like a super group, and Brad Wood. This record is awesome. And it's weird because it's not new. It came out last year, and I had one of the songs on this made like my top 5. It was so good. Love this record. Happy that it finally arrived. It arrived in April, and I ordered it in November. This next record, I was excited because I went on to be like, you know what record I really need? Link, These Are Not Fall Colors. And I went on to the Suicide Squeeze Bandcamp, and they had one left of this. So I was like, I better get it. So this record is fantastic. Link, it's like hard to explain. Gravelly, there's a real edge to it, but passionate. It's really great. And the singer passed away kind of recently, which sucks, but I'm glad I got this record. All right. I got two instrumental-ish records. So I talked a little bit about Unwoundish is a great way to describe it. I talked about 99 Records in Mexico City that I went to last year. Well, we went again this year in February, and we had to go back to 99 Records in Mexico City and see what they were playing. And they played not Kid A, they played Amnesiac, which was such a cool experience to just be quiet, listen to Amnesiac on vinyl. And then the next record they put on was this record, Khmer, Khmer, by Niels Petter Molvær. Jazzy, but a little electronic too. I haven't opened this one yet, so we're gonna make some drinks from the 99 Records and put this on, because every time we go to 99 Records, if we go again, and I hope we go again, we're gonna get it. We're gonna eventually get the record that they played, because we love going there, and it's just it's a great experience. And then this was like an impulse buy. I like to listen to the newest music coming out, and sometimes I miss something. And so when I see lists that are like the best albums so far of 2026, I'm just like, okay, I'll look at that. And this was on it, and I listened to it, and I was like, this is gorgeous. I want this. So I went on Bandcamp and I bought this. This is David Moore. The record's called Grace the Bell. It's solo piano, and it's awesome. Like it's just beautiful. It's well recorded. It is gorgeous arrangements. And I'm really happy I got that. That's going to be great to like put on and relax to. I'm going to be moving. At this point next month, I'll be in a new home. So sorry, I'm a little stuffed up. That's annoying. Okay, these last three, I got at High Voltage Vinyl. Side note: they had this thing going where if you bought more than $50 worth of records, you can pick 3 from this other bin for free. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get $50 worth of records because I'm going to buy free. Get these 3 free. But I went straight to that bin first. So I was like, I'll be able to find 3 records I want, but I want to find 3 from this free bin. And I found 3 that I was like, oh, this is cool. One was Squeeze, Babylon and On, which is a cassette I had as a kid. One was Donovan. The record's called Barabajaggle. I knew that song. The song's very cool. It's Donovan. It's like psychedelic goofiness. Goo Goo Barabajaggle. It's a good song. So I got that. And then I got this Congolese, it seemed like maybe a religious record, Congolese Missaluba. And I saw Missaluba, and Missaluba is mentioned in the Clash song Car Jamming. So I was like, ooh, this might be cool. Anyway, all 3 of those records I did not keep because I didn't like them. But these are the 3 records I bought that I'm happy about: Stereolab, Dots, and Loops. So I'm done with my Stereolab trilogy. But, just really great records to have, because you put them on and nobody's going to be upset. And then this one was not on my list, but I saw it there at a reasonable price. Cocteau Twins, Heaven in Las Vegas. Fantastic record. Again, this wasn't even on my list, but it should have been. It should have been. So it look like there's a hair in there. It's funny. As soon as my cat just showed up, and as soon as the cat shows up, the hair just appears. All right, last one. This is fun. This one was on my list, and I saw that they had it, and they had a green version of it. The Green Album by Weezer. The first 3 Weezer albums are very good. Obviously, no one's going to complain about the Blue Album or Pinkerton. You might find some people that think the Green Album is mid. Is that what the kids say? Or at least just like definitely not as good. Maybe a few good songs. I think this is a start to finish. It's not as like wild as Pinkerton or Blue Album. There's not a lot of like goofiness to it. However, there, songs on here: Knockdown, Drag Out, Island in the Sun, Smile. These are really, really good songs. Good pop, punk, pop, indie pop songs that are really good. I know I have felt it too, like I don't really like Hash Pipe, the song Hash Pipe, but like I was just like, it just didn't sound very fun to me like the other records did. Maybe it's Matt Sharp's influence, but that record has really grown on me, and so I'm glad I got it. I still want to get the Blue one and Pinkerton, which I do not have. All right, cool. We are about at 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop. Thank you for listening to me go through these April records. I think what I'm going to do is once I get to 50 on Cats and Vinyl, I'm going to re-randomize the rest of them. So some of these might start to bubble up and show up. And then as far as May goes, there is one in the mail right now. And then there's one that's like, again, another one I ordered a long time ago that like still hasn't arrived. I got another Wine and Vinyl that's going to be coming. That might actually come in June, but hopefully I don't explode wine everywhere, but we'll see. Okay. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you on the internet again. Bye.